do Chief Harold Medlock.
Good morning. Through the end of February, the preliminary total for index offenses was 17.5% lower than this time last year. Property crime has decreased almost 19%, and violent crime has decreased over 7%. We had 7 homicides reported in February 2010 compared to 7 for the same time in 2009. All of our violent index crime categories experienced decreases this month. 287 robberies were reported this month compared to 308 last February. That's a decrease of over 6%. We had 29 rapes reported in February compared to 33 last year. That's a 12.1% decrease. 393 aggravated assaults were reported this month compared to 424 last February, a decrease of over 7%. Overall, burglary is down over 10%, 1,293 cases compared to 1,437 for last February. Residential cases declined 1.6%. That's 1,078 cases this February compared to 1,091 last year. Commercial cases declined over 36%, 220 this year compared to 346 last February. 388 vehicle thefts were reported this year compared to 620 last February. That's a decrease of over 37%. Our total larceny cases declined almost 20%, 3,146 cases this year compared to 3,897 last February. And larcenies from auto, which has been a big concern across the county, has decreased this month over 32%, 1,415 cases compared to 2,096 for February of 2009. 45 arson cases were reported this February compared to 50 last year. That's a decrease of 10%. I'm going to turn it over to Captain Geltz with the Independence Division now, and I'll be available to answer any questions you have about the crime statistics at the end of her presentation. Captain Geltz.
Good morning. I am Captain Lisa Geltz with the Independence Division of the Police Department. I want to talk a little bit about how one of our response area commanders, Sergeant D. Tomaso, addressed a residential burglary problem that kind of spiked in December of January of this year. Because of that, she put kind of a multifaceted plan together to address specifically residential burglaries. And it included meeting with staff every single morning, detectives, burglary detectives, focused mission team members, community coordinators, patrol officers, and they kind of developed over the day, what are our targets? What happened yesterday? What break-ins happened? Where did they happen? Who are our suspects? What do we need to do today to try to put an end to them? She also included things such as a truancy officer. We refocused our truancy officer to patrol in those neighborhoods over there to try to keep our juveniles in school and out of the community, breaking into homes. She adjusted hours of her staff. We utilized some overtime. We had some overtime funds that were available. We put in some directed patrol officers that were directed to patrol specifically in the neighborhoods in the response area in order to increase some visibility. We asked the helicopter to come and do some flyovers during the daytime in that area of the city. We asked the HITS officers, the Highway Interdiction Traffic Safety Units, to come and assist us in stopping cars and providing an extra layer of visibility. They also conducted several traffic safety checkpoints in the area just to let the community know that we were out there and we were enforcing laws and we were being vigilant. Our burglary detectives worked extra hard. They were asked to, following every single residential break-in that did occur, the next day they were following up with that victim, trying to gather as much information as they could in order to see if we can identify the suspects involved in those. We utilized our community coordinator to put information back out into the community, specifically those neighborhoods that we were targeting, about how to target hard in their neighborhoods and their homes, how to secure their belongings. Provided them with some burglary prevention tips. We asked them to let us know anytime they saw something suspicious, a suspicious person walking around, a suspicious vehicle that they didn't recognize, to call us as soon as possible. And we sent that out to all the residents, including the Latino community. We made sure that those tips and everything were provided in Spanish to the residents out there. Our vice officers came out and helped us. We knew of some drug areas in that communities. We had them assist us with some knock and talks and some search warrants. We utilized undercover vehicles to patrol the neighborhoods and try to catch some of the home burglars in progress. As a result of all of that work, we were able to arrest and take into custody 13 suspects for breaking into houses in the Independence Division in the month of February alone. Those suspects were responsible for at least 6 break-ins in our response area that we are aware of. In addition to all that work, our residential burglary stats went down about 54% in the month of February alone. There were 26 residential burglaries in the 4 weeks prior to the February when we started this initiative, and there were only 12 during that. And so far, those numbers continue to trend down. We're trying to keep up that work in that area, and it seems to be very, very successful. Thank you.
Do you have any questions for Captain Geltz or Chief Bedlock?
Can you talk about specific neighborhoods or areas in this Independence area where these break-ins were happening?
Yeah, this area is bordered by Margaret Wallace Road, Idlewild Road, W.T. Harris Boulevard, and Lawyers Road, and includes neighborhoods such as the Piney Grove neighborhood, Country Oaks neighborhood, Idlewild Farms neighborhood.
Are you increasing checkpoints next month, this month, March?
No plans to. Nothing out of the ordinary.
Why do you think it spiked leading up in January quite a bit?
You know, it's hard to identify the exact causes of it. Really, I think I don't know, to be honest with you. We really don't know. Whether we had some suspects that were in custody that we knew recently had gotten out of custody that we began tracking again. Several of them were juveniles who were just out of school and that were bored during the day. And then we're breaking into their neighbors' homes. And so once we identified those juveniles and we were able to hold them accountable, the numbers seemed to drop as well.
Gang members?
Not specifically, no. Not that we were able to determine.
Lisa, what about the community awareness? I mean, at the end of February, I suspect that they had a different sense of what you guys were doing because of your visibility than they were 2 months earlier.
As a matter of fact, they were. And in fact, I went back and checked, and more than 75% of our captures for residential burglary suspects were because residents called us to let us know that there was something suspicious going on in that neighborhood. And that really is the key for us because, we can have patrol officers patrol the neighborhood, but they're not always familiar with what car belongs, what car doesn't belong, who belongs, who doesn't belong. It's the residents that live in that neighborhood that can provide that information that is so valuable to us that we can go out and talk to those people who respond to those suspicious activities, and that's where we end up having our results and being able to hold those burglars accountable.
Are you still looking for more arrests?
We're always looking for those, always. They're always out there, and no matter how many we arrest, it seems that there's always several right behind them ready to commit those same crimes, so we're always vigilant out there.
What time most they acting?
Most of these residential burglaries are occurring between 8 in the morning and 5 o'clock in the afternoon when people are at work and not usually at home or in school.
Thank you,
Have you used this model before, all of these things that you mentioned?
To a lesser degree. This is the first time we've really put all of these in place at the exact same time in order to really, really focus and hone in on this one specific area that we're really trending up.
Both Chief Medlock and Captain Geltz will be available afterwards if you guys want individual interviews. Thanks so much, guys. Appreciate it.